Hey, my friends, welcome back to the podcast. Today, we are talking about something that I know may be coming up for a lot of you because I've been having a lot of conversations either in my DMs or with my clients in my coaching program doing the work. And it's the shame around wanting to lose weight. So, if you've ever felt weird about noticing your body's changing or wanting it to change, or feeling guilty that you appreciate your clothes fitting differently, and also just wondering, will I ever not care anymore about this? Am I doing the wrong thing by wanting weight loss, by celebrating weight loss? Am I indulging in diet culture by doing that? So, this episode is exactly where you should be. Let's get into it. So I had a great conversation with one of my clients this week where she was finishing her coaching program with me, and she joined not for reasons of weight loss, but also, weight loss is many times in the back of our mind. We just don't let it to be in the front of our mind because we want to protect ourselves from not achieving it like we have so many times before. So we just let it be the thing that we're like, that would be nice, but I don't actually need it. When inside we're like, that would actually be really nice. I'd love to see that, but I'm going to pretend like I don't need it. And so she joined for other reasons: gut health, her stress, her nutrition, and she achieved all of that. Her digestion was great. Her stress was so much better. She was regulating her nervous system. She also is a business owner, so she managed her schedule much better so that she just felt great in her day, able to manage her time, able to manage her client load as well. And she really built a lot of capacity in her life, and she generally just felt so much better, more energy, less inflammation, more trust in herself. And then she also noticed her clothes fitting differently. She bought a pair of jeans in December on purpose, too small. How many times have we done that, right? Let me test the waters and see if I can buy this small and see if I can get into them later. And she did. By the end of this month, which I'm recording this at the end of January, she was in these pair of jeans that were supposedly too small for her. And instead of celebrating it, she felt shame. And she said, it's weird because this feels a little too close to diet culture. And she was really reluctant to claim it and enjoy it because it did feel like, well, then that means I'm still in this diet culture thing. I'm still striving for weight loss. And to be honest, many times we get to a point where we're like, I just don't want it anymore. I just want to feel good and move well and be confident and comfortable in my body. And yes, we do want that. But this thing of weight loss, the thing we're not supposed to want anymore, if we've done our healing work, and the thing that means that we're still stuck, we're still conditioned, we're still chasing something outside of ourselves. And I want you to know in this episode, I'm going to talk more about this, but that's not necessarily true. It's not polarizing. It's not either this or that. It can be both. You can want weight loss and to not be stuck in diet culture. You can notice your body changing and you can appreciate it. You can even celebrate it without it meaning that you've failed at healing your relationship with body, with food, or with diet culture. Because I'm watching brilliant, self-aware women tie themselves in a knot of being like, I wish I just didn't want this. And I think it's time to have a conversation about what diet culture really is and how we can lose weight without it. So let's first go to the feeling she had of shame. Shame is going to happen when there's a discrepancy on who we believe we are as our identity and the actions that we are doing. And oftentimes in our mind and our thoughts, it sounds like, I wish I didn't care about losing weight. I wish I could just love my body without needing it to be smaller. Wanting this feels vain and superficial. And I know that I'm so much more than that. Why can't I stop thinking about this? And also, if I celebrate this, it means that I haven't actually healed my relationship with my body or food. And underneath all of this is fear. if my body is losing weight, I must still be conditioned by diet culture. I must still be stuck. I must still be doing it wrong. So what is diet culture really? I went to Google to just see, what does Google say about diet culture? And I thought that it really gave it a pretty good overview, that diet culture is a pervasive system of societal beliefs that equates thinness with health, moral virtue, and superior social status. It promotes restrictive eating, demonizes food groups, and encourages weight loss at any cost, fostering shame, body dissatisfaction, and in severe cases, eating disorders. And it prioritizes weight loss over overall well-being. I think that that's the key driver right there. Prioritizing weight over overall well-being, and also being very confused or persuaded on what overall well-being is. We like to talk ourselves into believing something is for well-being, but then when we reflect on it several months later or even a year later, and we've kind of come to our senses, we can clearly see that action wasn't for my well-being. I was, trying to force myself into a body that my body was not willing to do when it comes to weight loss. And I think it's very important to be very honest on what that really is, because I find that I've done so much coaching around weight loss, and I've tried somewhat to separate myself from being just weight loss in order to give a better overview on what really matters for women in their lives and in their body. And we often have a view in our mind of what we believe our body should look like. And it could be on past experiences, it could be on conditioning from society, it could be anything, right? Maybe it's what we looked like when we were 24. Maybe it's what we looked like after our first baby. We have this image in our mind. And now at this point in midlife, we are still asking our body to look this way. And then we think that that's the thing that will make us happy and complete and content and confident in our body. But our body actually has a different vision on what we want, or on what our body should look like. Now, our body can't visualize that, right? But our body knows where homeostasis is. And it is regardless on the amount of body fat that is visual on your body, or what it feels like on your body from your mind's eye. Because your body already knows this is healthy. This is where I have good energy in and good energy out. This is where everything feels safe. This is where I like to be. Many times our mind wants to argue with our body saying, no, that's not right. That's not small enough. That's not this enough. And that's when we end up overriding our body in order to achieve the goal we have in our mind's eye. And it's not the same thing that our body sees. So we want to be open to exploring that sometimes our natural weight, the weight that our body wants to be at, is not what our mind agrees with. And we want to be open to exploring that it could be something else, and to also be okay with that. I think that, like, going back to my body composition, I'm 42. And in the past, I don't know, year, 2 years, somewhere in there, I'm about 10 pounds heavier than what I was. Visually, I don't think my body looks that different. When I look at pictures, I'm not, stricken with, wow, I look like I gained 10 pounds. And the truth is, like, I just could care less about those 10 pounds because I feel so good. There was a point when I was waking up every night in terrible night sweats and not able to fall asleep, stay asleep. My appetite cues were completely absent. I couldn't feel them at all. I was never hungry. I was always moody, and I was very inflamed. So even though my weight was less, I was super puffy all the time. And now I don't have that, but my body weight is more. And it's definitely different than what my mind's eye would say, like, this is the right thing, especially when I compare it to the scale, because then it gets all sort of discombobulated. But what I really come back to is like feeling very grounded in my body right now, knowing that it's so healthy. It's so happy. it feels so safe. It understands it's going to be fed and it's going to be fed consistently. It has hormones and it's detoxing hormones. And what I can say is that it has nothing to do with the scale. It has everything to do with how safe my body feels with the energy going in and the energy going out. But when we've done a lot of work around diet culture and we want to remove ourselves from diet culture because we see the harm that it's done in our past and we see the harm that it does to our daughters and other women in the world, we want to remove ourselves from that, right? We all want to be like, no, I know that that's not the right way to eat and it's not the right way to live. And what happens is that the mind then takes weight loss as being that's wrong and I'm still conditioned by diet culture. And then you start policing your own desires. You start using mental energy to try not to want it, to try to wonder if you're wrong for wanting it. And you're exhausted from thinking about it constantly and trying to convince yourself that you don't care about it. When in reality, you still have that in the back of your mind that you do care. Because if you sit down and you're like, oh, I'm uncomfortable. Oh, don't want that. Or if you get in your car and you're like, I feel so bloated today. Oh, don't want that. Just be happy, right? We're trying to talk ourselves into something that we don't actually believe or want, and it's exhausting. But weight loss and diet culture are two completely different things. Diet culture is external pressure and it's moral judgment. It's somebody else's thoughts and beliefs that was conditioned onto you saying, this is exactly how it should be done. And if it's not done that way, you're not lovable, you're not valuable, you're not beautiful, you're not XYZ. And it's sacrificing your health and your mental well-being and your life and your joy for a number on a scale or something that you've attached to more worth. Weight loss as a side effect of your body finding homeostasis, that's your body finding safety. That's your body burning stored fuel it no longer needs. That's physics and that's science. Sometimes science can feel very safe, right? Our brain loves safety in numbers. Our brain loves data. And when we can remember weight loss is just a science experiment, it's not a morality, it's not the value of you, it's not the worthiness of you, it's a science experiment. We can take that negativity that we often attach to that and we can work on removing that. And whenever I ask women, what do you really want? And ask yourself this question as well on this episode, what do you really want? It's never going to just be, I want a smaller body. I want to weigh a certain number. I want to be a certain size. What you really want is energy. What you really want is to trust yourself, to feel confident, to feel like you own yourself in the room that you stand in, to be your biggest cheerleader, to feel sovereign in your body, and to feel every bit of and piece of you and own it and love it. And that's what you really want. And in the past, you've probably hit weight loss goals and you've probably fit into those jeans. And you've probably seen that number on the scale and you still weren't happy. You still weren't content. You probably saw something and you still wanted to change it. And so when we keep moving that needle further and further away from us, when we keep striving to change our bodies from a place of not being enough, we actually get further and further away from ourselves. We create more disconnection and more and less trust. And so don't confuse what you really want with body size. But there's also this part that you can have both. Want to have both in a way where you overall win in your mind, in your body, in your emotional health, and your spiritual health. And going back to when I ask somebody what they really want, and it's trust and it's confidence and to love myself and it's to be sovereign in my body, all of those are ultimately, when you establish those, when you have those, you are establishing safety in your body. You are then establishing homeostasis, which is the equal of energy in and energy out. And then the inevitable side effect is usually weight loss if your body is in a state of being able to burn body fat, if it has enough body fat to burn as well. So when we create actions from self-love, from trust, from confidence, then the end side effect is not something that we need to micromanage anymore. So when we have shame or we're wanting something. So when we have shame or when we feel shame about wanting or experiencing weight loss, shame comes from thinking that we've done something wrong or that we are something wrong. And it's deeply connected to our identity, who we believe we are. So if your identity includes beliefs like I'm somebody who can't trust myself, I'm inconsistent, I can't follow through, and weight loss is bad, you're going to produce actions that don't actually give you any result that you want. When your actions, they won't look like building trust. They won't look like love. They won't look like fueling yourself in a way that creates consistent energy. Because weight loss is always a direct side effect of producing actions from self-love. So if your identity is unconditional self-love, trust in yourself, confidence, I've got this mentality, your actions are going to reflect that. And those actions will create conditions for your body to find safety and homeostasis. And that homeostasis is the balance of energy in and energy out. So then we can really remove the character flaw that we continue to have about ourselves. This is not something inherently wrong with you. This is not that you being undeserving. This is physics. This is science. I like to use another analogy, and I used this with my client as well on this conversation because she's also a business owner as well as me and possibly you. And even if you're not, we all love money. So, or we appreciate money, right? We're totally okay with having money as a side effect of owning a business, of going to work, right? It's a resource that we need. Also remember that weight, body fat is also a resource. So we can put them both in the resource category and neutralize the thought that either one is right or wrong, better or worse. So as a business owner, if you are, or you go to work and you create money, we celebrate that. We appreciate getting paid. And as a business owner, we celebrate money. Money is a marker of winning. Money is a marker of creating more success. It allows us to be more resourceful with what we have. And the truth is, body fat can be the same thing. It's a marker. It's a sign that your body feels safe. It's a sign that homeostasis is happening. And it's something that, honestly, for many people, it allows their body to move in a way that they want it to move, to feel your body better and to have confidence and to feel at home in your skin. So what you're actually celebrating is not a number. It's not the scale. You're celebrating the comfort in your body. You're celebrating the energy you're creating. You're celebrating your skin not feeling too tight or restrictive or like it doesn't fit the need that you want your body to do for you. You're celebrating the actions of self-love that created the conditions for your body to feel safe. And that is worth celebrating. That is worth desiring and wanting. And you have permission to notice it. You have permission to appreciate it, to like how your clothes fit, to enjoy feeling lighter, less inflamed, just more at home in your skin. It doesn't mean that you're striving for this thing or that you've completely jumped ship on diet culture. It means that your body is thriving. You're giving your body what it actually needs. So here's what I want you to walk away with today. Weight loss does not mean that you're participating in diet culture. Weight loss is independent of diet culture. It's a sign of safety, of homeostasis. It's a direct reflection of self-love and compassion for your body. However, you don't ever have to lose weight. You don't have to want it. There's nothing wrong with you if you don't want to lose weight or if you do. You can have and be both at different times in your life. What you want and what you desire is nothing wrong with that. When you take the emotional weight out of this, when you remove the moral judgment of body weight and body fat and see it as simply a resource, when you remove the diet culture lens, you can actually just witness what happens in real life. Your body just finding the neutrality of energy in and energy out, your body feeling safe, your body doing what bodies do when they're loved and they're resourced. That is it. That's all that it is. So we can remove that emotional charge. So here's what I want you to believe after this episode or with this episode, or create some more awareness around it this week, is that you can want it and you also can not want it. Neither one is right or wrong, but you can have it all. And I want you to understand that your deepest desires are really there. And because it's unlikely that your deepest desire is a number on a scale or a size on a tag, because you've probably hit those numbers before, you've probably worn those sizes, you still weren't content. Your deepest desire is to trust yourself, to feel sovereign, to feel like yourself completely, to feel like every bit and piece of you is yours, to own it and to love it. And when you move from that place, when your actions come from unconditional love and from trust and I've got this, the weight loss, if it happens, is just your body saying, I feel safe now. There's no shame in that. So here's what I want you to do. Notice when you're labeling your own desires as right or wrong or feeling shame around them. Notice when you're using energy to try not to want something and how exhausting and unuseful that is. And notice where you're afraid that wanting something means you're doing it wrong. And ask yourself, what if I just let myself want what I want? What if there's nothing wrong with me for wanting to feel good in my body, to have energy, to feel comfortable in my skin, and also as a side effect of all of that, to lose weight? Both can be true. What if you're not broken? You're not stuck. You're not failing. You're just a woman with a body that is finally finding safety. So I will leave you with that, my friends. I would love to invite you to leave me a review that helps me grow the podcast and find new audience. And I can't wait to see you next week. Bye-bye.